This week on Hermitcraft. Welcome to the Hermitcraft recap. My name is Pixel Riffs. Our writer is SloyXP. Captions on this video are provided by Liara. And the wait is over. Gemini Tay has built the Nether hub, which is not in the upper void of over the Nether roof this time, so you can imagine the kind of digging it took.
Obviously right now it's a completely symmetrical hub, which would be really confusing.
The choice to position it this way was mostly done so that people who download the Bedrock version of the world whenever the server resets aren't cheated out of any building, and have a convenient hub to navigate to their favourite bases. Though it is also a fun bonus that the ceiling of the build has actual bedrock mixed in with the blocks. Rare that anyone gets to do that in this game. That being said, the construction went without much trouble, ignoring the time Grian got completely lost without the previous tunnel infrastructure.
The label's gone!
Come, I'm building.
Let me out!
Or that time Gem unearthed a piglin wearing a hoglin head surrounded by baby piglins. Players really never appreciate Hoggy the birthday clown. For those missing the atmospheric void fog of the hub's prior, worry not. Gem actually went out of her way to add the illusion of fog with magenta glass as the floor of the build, making the rest of it look only darker and more atmospheric by contrast. But if you're tired of that trick, you can just pretend that the floor texture is missing. And with that out of the way, let's take a look at all the events and mishaps that occurred on the Hermitcraft server this week. Starting with Pearlescent Moon, who is making a jail specifically for these two llamas with bandit masks. Oh, and any fire starting items she's had to confiscate from the other hermits, hence naming the llamas Flint and Steel.
Arson? Which we're calling larceny, but larceny is like to thief stuff? But I don't know, it's got a duo meaning, I guess.
After her unfortunate splatting on top of a happy ghast in the end dimension, Pearl has since had the safety briefing from her community and discovered that a lingering potion of slow falling can prevent you from taking lethal fall damage. In an effort to pay it forward and secure the safety of the community, Pearl aims to create a lingering smoke haze in her fire safety training tower. But simulating that is tricky when you can't expect people to eat blindness suspicious stew every few seconds. So she asks for Tango Tech's help in capturing a warden, gets a description of the warden catching system, which amounts to a pat on the back and a "you'll get the hang of it," and soon enough she's dying repeatedly to an eldritch horror in the corridors of the Nether.
That's so unfortunate. Do I stink that bad? I really smell that bad, my guy. Stop sniffing me.
Fortunately for her, a concerned citizen shows up, and we can tell he's concerned by the expression on his face.
So are you familiar with Tango's warden capture device, by chance? Those tunnels at all?
I've seen Skiz screaming running through them from time to time, yeah.
Eventually, with XB's assistance, Pearl gets two wardens into place, but decides that's too much peril for one day and opts to build the residential wing of the fire station campus instead. If you want a server tour which has absolutely no connection to anyone's bases, look no further than XB Crafted, who decides to informally drop in on everyone to get a vibe check on Season 11.
So far, we're a few months into Season 11. How you vibing? How you feeling? How you doing?
All I'm dealing with is just constant chaos and realizing that Minecraft does not have adequate firefighting options available to me.
I feel like that's a safety hazard.
XB tracks down the other hermits mid-terraforming, backstage redstone wiring, building a big blue square in the ocean, or just digging a tunnel through anonymous sections of Deep Slate so he can ask them how the season is treating them, what they want to get out of this era of Hermitcraft, and what Mojang can implement specifically to help them.
Okay, I would like a flying mount in the overworld, and I'd like to suggest giant, magnificent eagles.
It's absolutely worth checking out for everyone's answers, but the trend seems to be people want to hang out more. Except for Doc M, who wants Scar to grovel for help at some point. And Rendog, who wants to build in bold new directions, like on the diagonal.
It's not going to go well,
easy.
I think,
Yeah.
but I'm going to try.
For now, Ren is back from holiday and working his magic on the plains biome around his magic kingdom, turning it all into moss, which feels like a sideways move for grass. But the mossy grasslands will be a welcome thing to return to after the harrowing experience of fighting a wither out on the icy tundra. As Ren time-lapses his addition to the shopping district, he recounts the tale of the C-Team Wither disaster, complete with the moments he was able to volley the destructive creature with magic missiles while the other two, contributed in other ways.
Guys, I'm soloing the thing. Can you get involved, please?
The shop celebrates the contribution of an equally powerful magician, Hoffen, whose 3D art has graced the server for many seasons at this point. Since Ren's hat, book, and elytra have all come from Hoffen, Ren makes a dedicated shop from which he can auction Hoffen-made hats every month or so. In the interim, it sells wool, which Ren isn't sure will sell super well, but the sales ledgers of previous seasons' wool shops might strongly disagree with him. In the meantime, if he wants it to fly off the shelves, he could always try a levitation spell. So while Hoffen's crimes against 3D modeling are well documented on this channel, today we also have to mention Pspock for introducing something Zombie Cleo has been sorely missing for longer than you would believe: arms.
See, this would have been nice last season.
Yeah, well, like, my friend just did it for me, but, like, because they're holding, like, sticks, you can move the arms with them.
The trick about armor stand construction, you see, is that the default Minecraft mannequins only have those two twiggy stick arms that make the trickery entirely too obvious. Well, not anymore. Cleo has been given items that display exactly like player arms when held. In fact, you don't even have to be an armor stand for them to work. They display like broken sleeve tattoos on the players too. Armed with these arms, Cleo introduces the first archaeologists to their excavation site, and they must have worked pretty hard to uncover this much on their own. Because Cleo also builds the entire foundation of the ancient temple base, complete with intricate gradients, freshly baked on Twitter.
Corrales showed me something, Hope_Vi7, and yeah, this looks really good, and I think...
In fact, they got too many wall designs laying around and need to flip a rendog to decide which one to use.
I didn't even know you'd left.
Wow.
Wow,
you hate to see it.
I did hate to see it.
Very ancient temple-like, Hypnotized decided that what his basement should do is drop the ceiling. What would be any other homeowner's nightmare actually works out rather well with Hypno's big technical basement, at least once he sections off some of it into rooms so the space doesn't echo so much. And obviously, in reality, this meant not just building the randomized textured plane only to tear it down later, but also painstakingly building it again. Though it's very funny to pretend that it just lowered on its own under the weight of Buttons the Giant Snowman, whom XP Crafted moved from his base to Hypno's.
It was sitting right there. I logged off, I logged back in, and now it is on top of the pyramid. Oh, that's kind of funny.
Instead of gravity, Ijevin has to take up the role of a different natural process: erosion. With his plateaus out of the way of the dread Pirate Bay, Jevin decides to further lower the sea floor so it can be redone in a more interesting way than the natural Minecraft generation. Which means he literally hit rock bottom and kept digging.
Since that time, I have mined an additional 200,000 stone. Gotta mine it down. I've got to do something about this gigantic cave that was here.
With time lapses like these, I guess you can see why he's very interested in Cubfan's idea to bring some Nautilus Eye into the circulation, and their shells wouldn't hurt either given they are part of the Heart of the Sea crafting recipe. So obviously the two of them immediately corner Etho in an attempt to delegate the farming of them, though he has no viable designs that he's willing to build. Together, the three of them shake up the sea for all it's got anyway, employing along the way the novel technique of rapid spilling a bucket of water onto oneself to regain air underwater. It makes no sense, and yet it's working. The forests are not any safer from complete destruction, in no small part thanks to Joel's Smallish Beans, who I'm sure is an invasive species. The large material gathering rush of his is mostly prompted by the need to fill the massive hole in his heart and under his house. The latest level of his cellar is so deep it had to be dug up with dynamite. You can imagine how many blocks he needs to fill it all back in.
Thirdly, I had a visit from XB, and he kind of caught me down in my basement, which is not meant to see.
While it's not clear what role the new interior will play in the further descent of its owner, it is actually clear that Joel didn't have to pick a Taylor Swift song when Jem traded him singing for Blackstone. Besides, it's legs you get for singing, not rocks. You guys gotta brush up on your fairy tales.
Doing what Jem wants just because it saves me a bit of time, that would be really like unprofessional and just disrespectful and just sort of make me quite self-loathing in a way.
Joe Hills began his season by challenging the notion that Brandon Sanderson's books couldn't be adapted for the screen. only for Brandon Sanderson to also challenge the notion that his books couldn't be adapted for the screen with Apple TV's help. So that might be egg on Joe's face, but does Brandon Sanderson have a bejeweled couch? He might actually, the guy sells a lot of books. But does he have a bunch of invisible armor stands holding spears to make these shelves look like a weapon rack? Ah, now we're seeing the Joe Hills difference.
Now, the point of this production office is to actually produce the segment.
Joe's TV studio has no need to simulate all the environments a TV production might need, and so Joe does some location scouting in the Badlands. But when he wants a hallway set for a fight scene, he's got room to turn his basement into a corridor through which our protagonist can swash the buckles of various armor stand soldiers.
One last thing I wanted to show y'all this episode is that I've constructed a green screen wall that I can use for the closing credits.
If you hear a grumbling from beyond the decked-out foothills, it's just Doc M trying to recreate this incredible fan art of him being an old man yelling at a mountain. A goat he may be, but a mountain goat he isn't. With the maxi game on his horizon, he turns his attention back to the minigame he has planned for the shopping district. It's another target practice game, because at this point surely people have forgotten that he had an ulterior motive for collecting arrows. But since this one is related to shulkers, and also has a really nifty score counter using powder snow and full blue maps, it's going to be hard to resist.
Yeah, nice. I would say rightfully so, the master of technology.
Now he's tidied up and decorated the interior of his storage room, there's room for another technical marvel, a silverfish plushie that gives you experience orbs for beating it up. Of course, below the surface, it's an infested allay-powered silverfish farm with a sophisticated mechanism for stopping the allays taking too much damage in the campfire. But it's much more therapeutic to have a pillow you can punch. And finally, there's Azuma Void, who has made this dining hall in his mines and absolutely ate with the interiors. Before we get into why a mine operated by copper robots needs a mess hall, let's focus on Azuma also perfecting his bamboo farm, also operated by copper robots, and now made obsolete by Skizzleman just offering him all the planks he could dream of for the low price of building Skizz a storage system. Really pushing the golems and allays comes to its fullest when Azuma designs a greenhouse honey farm, where the two cutest mobs are also joined by the bees flying around the place, though only the bees are appropriately dressed for their new prison. At the very least, the happy ghasts have something to be happy about, as Azuma builds a creeper farm using them to push creepers off a platform. Essentially, imagine a slime block sweeper, but instead of slime blocks, there's ghasts on rails. Now stop imagining it, because here it is. And Azuma being Azuma, he of course converts the farm into a music disc factory, since Hoffen has made him cool new headphones for a helmet, and he can actually listen to them. He could be listening to them the whole video, and you wouldn't know. And that's about it for this week's recap. Our writer is LoyXP, and my name is Pixel Riffs. Captions on this video were provided by Liara. Don't forget to leave a like while you're still here, and subscribe so you won't miss future recaps. Thanks for watching, and we'll see you next week.